Welcome. We're the place you come to when you want to get right into the heart of the matter, unpacking complex stories from the sources themselves.
And today, we're definitely diving deep. We're tackling Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights.
Specifically, we're looking at the anatomy of revenge, Heathcliff's revenge. It's this incredibly intricate, decades-long plan.
Absolutely. It's not just blind rage, it's systematic. We're going to trace how he goes from this wounded foundling to someone who meticulously destroys lives. It's all rooted in love, betrayal, and this profound sense of degradation.
Right. Our mission today is really to map out the emotional and psychological journey. How does that initial pain fuel such sustained, calculated malice? We want to get into the why and the how.
It's about understanding the root cause, that first deep wound. Without it, Heathcliff is just, well, a monster. But when you see where it starts,
He becomes something else. A force unleashed by the world's cruelty, maybe?
something like that. He feels the world, especially Catherine, denied him everything. So his logic, however warped, is to take everything back from that world: property, family, peace, everything.
And Bronte starts us off brilliantly, not at the beginning, but near the end of the first cycle. We see it through Lockwood's eyes in 1801.
Yes, that first visit, Wuthering Heights, Lockwood calls it a perfect misanthropist's heaven.
That phrase just nails it, doesn't it? The isolation, the bleakness. It feels almost hostile.
It is hostile. It's a fortress built on bitterness. Lockwood arrives, expecting maybe some eccentric country gentleman.
Yeah, he thinks Heathcliff might be a capital fellow, someone like him.
But that idea dissolves instantly. Heathcliff, look those black eyes, the way he pulls them suspiciously under their brows. It's immediate distrust.
And then he speaks so savagely, Lockwood clocks it right away. This is genuine bad nature. No pleasantries here.
None at all. And the scene inside is just bizarre to Lockwood. It really throws him.
Totally. You've got Heathcliff, this dark, brooding master, then this young woman, beautiful but full of scorn, Mrs. Heathcliff.
Catherine Linton, yeah. And then there's Catherine Earnshaw, rustic, awkward, speaking this strange mix of dialects.
Lockwood's completely lost. He tries to piece it together, assumes Hareton, the clown, must be her husband. He thinks she threw herself away upon that boar.
He can't grasp the reality that she's Catherine's daughter, trapped there. And Hareton, he's the actual heir, deliberately kept down, uneducated.
It's just the evidence of Heathcliff's revenge is right there in the room, in the people, in how they interact or don't interact.
Exactly. Bronte shows us the wreckage first, the house itself, the slanted floors, the oppressive atmosphere. It's all a monument to Heathcliff's devastating success in achieving, well, desolation.
Okay, so to understand how we got to that bleak picture in 1801, we need to rewind way back to Heathcliff's arrival.
The beginning. Mr. Earnshaw finds him in Liverpool, just brings home this dirty, ragged, black-haired child.
And the family's reaction, not exactly welcoming.
Oh, far from it. Mrs. Earnshaw, the sources say, was ready to fling it out of doors, calls him a gypsy brat.
So, right from the start, he's an outsider, unwanted, foreign. He spoke gibberish.
Yes, this immediate sense of being other, of being rejected just for existing, that's the seed, isn't it? It lays the groundwork for so much bitterness later on.
He's not just poor, he's fundamentally displaced. But there was one person who accepted him.
Catherine, their bond is the core of everything. They were kindred spirits, wild, rejecting the rules. Nellie Dean calls them wild, wicked slips.
They understood each other on some basic level. Nellie says the worst punishment for Kathy was being separated from him. They even threw prayer books away together. Rebels from the start.
A perfectly matched pair, really, outside the norms. But that chaotic harmony couldn't survive old Mr. Earnshaw's death.
The power shift. Hindley returns.
And Hindley comes back. Changed. Altered considerably, the text says. He has a wife, Frances, and he has resentment built up against Heathcliff because his father favored the boy.
And he takes it out on Heathcliff immediately.
Cruelly and systematically. Hindley's revenge is about degradation. He stops Heathcliff's education, treats him like dirt, forces him into farm labor. He wants to strip him of any status Mr. Earnshaw might have given him.
Nellie even says Hindley's treatment was enough to make a fiend of a saint.
It's a powerful line. It suggests Heathcliff wasn't born evil. He was pushed towards it by relentless cruelty, by class prejudice, by having his identity systematically broken down.
He's learning a harsh lesson about the world. That worth is tied to status and money, not loyalty or character.
Precisely. And then comes the blow that truly breaks him, the one delivered unknowingly by Catherine.
It starts with that visit to Thrushcross Grange, doesn't it? Seeing the Lintons' world.
Yes, the contrast is stark. The Grange is all refinement, fragility, Edgar Linton crying over a puppy, Isabella screaming. It's a different universe from the Heights.
And Catherine? She's drawn to it, maybe the comfort, the status.
It plants a seed. She comes back, still attached to Heathcliff, but something shifted. This leads to that pivotal conversation in Chapter 9.
Where she tells Nellie she's decided to marry Edgar. She lists his good qualities: handsome, young, cheerful, rich.
All external things,
Yeah.
social advantages. And Heathcliff is there, hiding, listening.
But he only hears part of it. The worst part.
The fatal part. He hears Catherine say it would degrade her to marry him, Heathcliff.
That must have felt like confirmation of everything Hindley had done to him, his deepest fear voiced by the person he loved most.
Exactly. It validates all the social slights, all the degradation. He hears his soulmate essentially calling him unworthy, a source of social shame. And he doesn't stick around for the rest. He just leaves.
Believing he's utterly rejected.
And the tragedy is he misses the crucial context, the immediate contradiction in Catherine.
Right after saying that, she has her breakdown, doesn't she? Strikes her forehead, her chest.
Crying out, "In my soul and in my heart, I'm convinced I'm wrong," she insists, eyeing Heathcliff. She understands their connection is fundamental, deeper than social standing.
Their souls are one, she believes, but she still chooses Edgar for society, for security.
And Heathcliff leaves with only the sting of degrade. That single word becomes the poison. It fuels everything that follows. Not a quest for reunion, but for destruction. Destroy the system. Destroy the people who benefited.
So Heathcliff disappears, just vanishes for 3 years. What happens back at the Heights and the Grange?
Well, Catherine is devastated. Nellie says she was heartbroken, fell into a fever, a brain fever. She recovers, but she's changed.
How so?
She spends time recuperating at Thrushcross Grange, soaking up that Linton atmosphere. She comes back saucier and more passionate and haughtier than ever. And eventually, 3 years after Heathcliff left, she marries Edgar Linton.
And Edgar. What's he like as a husband?
Edgar is gentle, passive, really. The text emphasizes that he feared ruffling her humor. He just wanted peace, tranquility. He basically accommodates her intense, volatile nature rather than challenging it.
So not exactly an equal match for her fire, more like someone who tries to contain it gently.
You could say that. He provided stability, but perhaps not the kind of passionate understanding she had with Heathcliff, which makes Heathcliff's return even more explosive.
Ah, yes, Chapter 10, the dramatic entrance.
Completely out of the blue, this tall, dark-clothed man arrives. He speaks differently, carries himself differently. He's clearly wealthy now, educated, almost unrecognizable.
The transformation is key, isn't it? He didn't just get angry, he got strategic.
Utterly strategic. He left as a victim of the class system. He returns as someone who understands how to use its levers specifically, money and appearance.
He learned the rules of the game that beat him and came back to win.
Exactly. He acquired the very things Catherine valued in Edgar: wealth, status, manners. But not for their own sake, as tools.
How does Edgar react?
Predictably, with immediate class prejudice. He calls him the gypsy, the plowboy. Even though Heathcliff looks like a gentleman, Edgar sees the boy he despised.
Old wounds. But Catherine...
She's ecstatic. Frantic with joy, Nellie says. She insists Edgar must be friends with him now. She doesn't seem to grasp, or maybe doesn't want to grasp, how fundamentally Heathcliff has changed inside.
He's not the boy she knew. He's weaponized himself.
Completely. He's weaponized wealth, status, even his own suffering. And we see this cold calculation laid bare when Edgar's sister, Isabella, develops a crush on him.
Right. Isabella falls for the dark, brooding persona.
And Catherine, perhaps in a moment of guilt or genuine warning, tries to tell Isabella what Heathcliff has become. It's brutal.
What does she say?
She calls him an unreclaimed creature, a fierce, pitiless, wolfish man. She warns Isabella that he's incapable of love now.
And his motives.
Purely mercenary, Catherine says. He'd only marry for fortune and expectations.
Yeah.
She adds chillingly. Avarice is growing with him a besetting sin.
Wow. So Catherine knows. She sees he's become this predator, driven by greed and bitterness.
She sees it. His time away wasn't just about getting rich. It was about forging himself into an instrument of vengeance, using the very power money that facilitated his initial rejection. He became their equal only to destroy them.
It's not just about getting Catherine back anymore, is it? It's much bigger, darker.
Much bigger. It's about dismantling the entire structures, the families, the properties, the legacies of Earnshaw and Linton. He's playing the long game now.
Okay, so Heathcliff is back, transformed, and he has a plan. Where does he start the actual demolition work?
He starts, naturally, with his first tormentor, Hindley Earnshaw, and Wuthering Heights itself.
How does he manage that?
He actually moves into Wuthering Heights. Hindley, by this point, is already spiraling, deep into gambling, drinking. Nellie describes him living in reckless dissipation.
So Heathcliff doesn't even need to push him that hard.
Not really. He just needs to enable him and, crucially, finance him. Heathcliff becomes Hindley's creditor. He lends Hindley money, likely at ruinous rates, secured against the property.
Ah, so he's funding Hindley's self-destruction while slowly gaining legal control over the heights.
Exactly. It's insidious. Joseph, the old servant, complains about Hindley borrowing on the land while Heathcliff sits there counting his brass. It's a slow, methodical takeover.
Financial ruin alongside moral ruin. It's grim.
And there's violence, too, simmering beneath the surface. Remember that scene where Hindley, drunk, tries to kill Heathcliff with a knife pistol contraption?
Yes, it backfires. Hindley wounds himself.
And Heathcliff, he patches Hindley up brutally, cursing him the whole time. He keeps him alive.
Why? Why not just let him die?
Because the ruin isn't complete yet. He needs Hindley alive long enough to sign away the last shreds of the estate. It shows Heathcliff's chilling patience, his control. He'll endure physical danger to see the plan through.
He knows the house, and Hindley's son Hareton will eventually be his.
Yes, and Hareton is part of the plan too. But before we get to him, Heathcliff takes another detour. Isabella Linton.
Edgar's sister, the one who was infatuated with him, he marries her.
He does. Not for love, obviously. Right. Purely to inflict pain on Edgar and potentially gain leverage over Linton property or assets.
And it's a disaster for her. She escapes Wuthering Heights eventually, right?
Yes. She turns up at the Grange completely broken. Nellie describes her arriving with snow in her hair, a cut under her ear. She's fled a living hell.
Heathcliff was openly cruel to her.
Abominably cruel. He boasts about it to Nellie, says Isabella degenerates into a mere slut because she can't please him. He shows absolutely no remorse, no pity.
That line, the more the worms writhe, the more I yearn to crush out their entrails. It's monstrous.
It really lays bare the depth of his sadism by this point. He's not just seeking justice, he's feeding on the suffering of others. He wants them to feel agony, and he wants to watch.
And Isabella, she's destroyed by it. She even has this twisted wish for revenge herself.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. She says she wishes she could make him suffer, just so he'd know she was the cause. But she admits she doesn't have capacity for cruelty. He's broken her spirit.
He exports his own trauma, making victims of others.
Precisely. Hindley broke him. He breaks Isabella. But perhaps the most calculated long-term piece of cruelty is reserved for the next generation.
Hareton, Hindley's son.
After Hindley finally drinks himself to death, Heathcliff becomes Hareton's guardian, and his goal is explicit.
To degrade him, just like Hindley degraded Heathcliff.
Exactly. He says he wants to see if one tree won't grow as crooked as another, with the same wind to twist it. He deliberately prevents Hareton from learning to read or write.
Stealing his birthright, essentially, keeping the heir to Wuthering Heights ignorant and rough.
While simultaneously fostering a strange kind of loyalty in the boy, Heathcliff protects Hareton from physical abuse, which confuses Nellie.
Why protect him physically if he's destroying him mentally and socially?
Because Hareton serves a purpose beyond just being abused. He's living proof of the Earnshaw decline. Heathcliff wants him loyal, but ignorant, a servant in his own house. It's about the ultimate humiliation.
He wants to see his own child, Linton, lording it over Hareton.
Yes. He explicitly states his dream. Seeing my descendant, fairly lord of their estates, my child hiring their children to till their father's lands for wages. A total reversal. Complete social and economic dominance.
It's horrifyingly thorough. Debt, marriage, neglect. All weapons in his arsenal. The destruction spans generations.
So Wuthering Heights is effectively his. Hindley's gone. Hareton is being molded into a brute. Now Heathcliff sets his sights firmly on Thrushcross Grange.
And the key to that is his own son, Linton Heathcliff.
The son he had with Isabella. And Linton is, well, he's not exactly robust. Nellie calls him a whey-faced, whining wretch.
Sickly, weak, and apparently despised by Heathcliff himself. But useful.
Extremely useful. He's a legal link. Heathcliff's plan now is to force a marriage between Linton and young Cathy Linton, Catherine and Edgar's daughter.
Cathy II. How does he engineer that?
Manipulation, mostly. He plays on Cathy's kindness and sense of duty towards her frail cousin. He makes her believe Linton is desperately ill, dying for you, he says.
And her own father, Edgar, is sick at this point too, isn't he?
Yes, Edgar is fading. So Cathy feels this obligation. But she's also confused. Linton behaves strangely, seems terrified. She senses he's visiting her as a task, not out of any real affection.
He's clearly scared of Heathcliff.
Terrified, he admits it to Cathy. My father threatened me, I dread him, I dare not tell. Heathcliff has created a son who is completely subservient through fear, the perfect pawn.
So how does Heathcliff force the marriage? Time is running out with Edgar dying.
He sets a trap. Cathy and Ellie go to visit Linton at Wuthering Heights. Heathcliff lets them in, then locks the doors, imprisons them.
Just locks them in. He knows Edgar is on his deathbed.
Yes, it's utterly ruthless. He needs the marriage finalized before Edgar dies, so the Grange inheritance flows through Linton to him. Nellie protests, talks about the law.
But Heathcliff doesn't care. He feels untouchable at the Heights.
Completely. He tells him he can keep them hidden indefinitely. Cathy is desperate. She actually gets on her knees, pleads with him.
What does she say? Does she try to appeal to his past, to Catherine?
She asks him point blank, appealing to any shred of humanity left. Have you never loved anybody in all your life, Uncle? Never. Trying to remind him of her mother, perhaps.
And his reaction?
It is possibly the coldest, most brutal moment in the book. He physically recoils from her touch.
He says,
Keep your F's fingers off and move or I'll kick you. I'd rather be hugged by a snake. How the devil can you dream of fawning on me? I detest you.
He detests her. Catherine's daughter?
The sight of her, the living embodiment of Catherine mixed with Linton blood, is unbearable to him. Any love he had is so twisted into hate, especially towards anything connected to the Lintons. It's a complete rejection.
So the marriage happens, under duress.
Yes. Cathy is forced to marry Linton Heathcliff. The legal knot is tied just in time.
And Edgar?
Edgar dies shortly after, apparently peacefully, murmuring that Cathy will join him and her mother. He dies unaware of the final brutal details of Cathy's capture and forced marriage.
Leaving Heathcliff, victorious, he has it all. Both houses, control over both heirs, the plan is complete.
Complete, absolute victory on paper.
He's won. Heathcliff has achieved everything he set out to do. Destroyed his enemies, secured their property. So, is he satisfied? Does he enjoy the spoils?
That's the incredible irony, isn't it?
No.
Not at all. The victory is totally hollow. He finds zero pleasure in it.
So instead of, I don't know, remodeling the Grange or consolidating power, what does he do?
He spirals deeper and deeper into his original obsession, Catherine.
Yeah.
He even admits it to Nellie.
What does he say?
He says, I have lost the faculty of enjoying their destruction, and I am too idle to destroy for nothing. The drive is gone. The revenge was the purpose, but the result of the revenge means nothing to him.
Because the people he wanted to suffer to see his triumph are mostly dead.
Partly. And partly because the only thing that ever truly mattered was Catherine. Yeah. His success doesn't bring him peace. It just leaves him alone with his grief and obsession, which now consume him entirely.
Nellie finds out just how consumed he is, doesn't she? With the coffin incident.
Oh, yes. It's quite gothic. He confesses he bribed the sexton years earlier to open Catherine's coffin so he could see her face again.
Just gaze at her corpse.
Yes. And he found comfort that she hadn't decayed much yet. He even arranged for the sexton to eventually remove the side of her coffin so that when he dies, his side can be removed too, and they can finally dissolve together.
Wow. That's beyond obsession. That's a desire for complete physical and spiritual merging, even in death.
It is. And he tells Nellie he's constantly haunted. Not just remembering Catherine, but actively feeling her presence, praying for her spirit to return, even if it drives him mad.
He says he sees her everywhere.
Everywhere. In the flagstones, the trees, the clouds at night. The entire world, he says, is a dreadful collection of memoranda that she did exist and that I have lost her. His mind is locked onto her. He forgets basic functions like breathing. His existence is solely focused on the anticipation of reunion.
It's like the revenge plot was just a massive destructive distraction from this core agony.
A very destructive distraction. But then something shifts. The final twist. And it involves the very people he set out to ruin.
Cathy Linton and Catherine Earnshaw. What happens?
He starts seeing Catherine in Hareton.
In Hareton. The boy he deliberately made rough and ignorant.
Yes, as Hareton starts to tentatively connect with Cathy, learning to read, shedding some of his brutishness, Heathcliff sees glimpses of Catherine in his eyes, his expressions, not just physical resemblance, but her spirit, maybe.
He calls Hareton the ghost of my immortal love.
He does. And this resemblance, this echo of Catherine and the Earnshaw boy he meant to crush it, it paralyzes him. It stops the revenge machine, dead in its tracks.
Seeing Hareton and Cathy together, finding some kind of connection, maybe even love, it affects Heathcliff.
Deeply. It's a strange mix, Nellie observes, of pain and fascination. He can't bring himself to interfere, to continue the torture. Seeing them find a fragile peace that he and Catherine were denied makes his entire life's work seem pointless, maybe even unbearable to witness.
So his own obsession, his love for Catherine, ultimately sabotages his hatred and revenge.
Beautifully put, yes. He basically gives up. He stops eating, stops drinking. Not really a conscious suicide, Nellie thinks, but more like his body is just shutting down, consumed by that single-minded anticipation of its fulfillment. His focus is entirely on joining Catherine.
He's already half in the other world.
Pretty much. And his death scene is remarkable. Nellie finds him in his room, dead, but his eyes are open, staring with this strange, joyful glitter, this look of frightful, lifelike gaze of exultation.
As if he finally saw her, achieved the reunion.
That's the strong implication. He died reaching for something, achieving a kind of transcendent, possibly terrifying joy. Nellie can't even close his eyes.
So he destroyed everyone, achieved total dominance, found it empty, and died consumed by the ghost of the love that started it all.
That's the arc. Utter material success, complete spiritual and psychological collapse, ending in this strange spectral triumph.
And the final irony. Who mourns him?
Hareton, the boy he worked so hard to degrade, is the only one who genuinely weeps over Heathcliff's death, lamenting the loss of the sarcastic savage face. It's a stunning moment of unexpected humanity.
Incredible. And Heathcliff's death. It breaks the curse, doesn't it?
It does. Nellie tells Lockwood that the cycle of violence and revenge is finally over. The dead are, hopefully, at peace. And his death clears the way for Cathy and Hareton.
The last of the Lintons and the last of the Earnshaws, they get together.
Yes. They plan to marry and move to Thrushcross Grange, leaving Wuthering Heights behind, letting it return to some semblance of peace with just old Joseph rattling around. The restoration begins.
Wow, what a journey. From that first spark of rejection to generations of calculated destruction, all undone by the ghost of love itself. It leaves you thinking, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
Here's something to chew on. What if Heathcliff hadn't run away after hearing Catherine say it would degrade her? What if he'd stayed, fought for her, even in poverty? Could all that misery have been avoided? Maybe contained?
Or was that love itself, that intense, possessive, almost savage connection they had, always destined to be destructive, regardless of circumstance? Was the revenge just the form it took?
A question with no easy answer. Definitely something to think about. Join us next time for another deep dive.